Hey guys, I'm Chef T Max. Welcome back to the kitchen. A great summer soup, corn chowder. You're gonna love it. Stay with me. Click subscribe if you're not doing that. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and ring that bell, and I'll send you new things I have coming up. So I'll see you back in a second with some corn chowder that you're gonna love. Okay guys, we're back in the kitchen. I've got simple corn chowder here. You can see on my board here, it's a basic arrangement of ingredients. You've got onions, celery, I've got some corn, wonderful sweet corn, and then I use green chilies. So green chilies and corn are a classic combination. The type of chili depends on what you like, if you want to make it spicy or not spicy. And then I have some beautiful chicken stock that I've made. You could substitute water, keep this thing vegetarian, no problem. You can make it even vegan. I'm gonna add heavy cream to mine, but you don't have to do that. So first thing I'm gonna do is start this off with some onions. So with the onions, I'm just gonna simply cut them in half like this, and then I slice them down. And I do that so I get a little bit of a sear on them. We're not looking to caramelize these onions because I like the beautiful color of the corn itself. So I just want to slice it down and blend this corn. Now, corn chowder, tons of different flavor variations you could do with this. You could go more with a garlic realm in this as well. You could add more garlic, and you could do like some green additions like green garlic. You can use scallions, those kind of flavors. I'm going to stick with I'm kind of doing this almost like Latin style concept with the green chilies and the corn. I like it also, I like corn with curry too. Curries are really like yellow curry. So you get your Madras curry out and you would saute your onions like this and you do your Madras curry. Maybe you put a little bit of, you can put a little bit of chilies in there too to make it spicy. But that's really up to you. But this way, is super simple. Let me show you a trick with corn, okay? First, let me get these celery in there. These are just like 4 celery sticks, 3 onions. We're gonna use about 5 pieces of corn today. And I have beautiful celery here. Celery is like the reason celery is one of the top 3, which you've got onions, carrots, and celery as the mirepoix vegetables, is because of the subtle beauty of its flavor, right? It's that wonderful flavor. It's not overpowering. It's refreshing. Delicate. It adds sweetness. It adds a vegetable spring taste. It's just wonderful. Now, before I do the corn, actually I'll do this corn, because this is a raw piece. I wanted to show you. I also have cooked corn here that I had from the holiday. So if you cook and steam some corn and you cut it off the cob like this, and this is where you can make a corn chowder from your leftover corn that you had on the holiday. We had Memorial Day. Always has tomato and corn. It's a religion for me. I grew up on a farm in the Eastern Shore of Virginia, and we grew corn. So in the summertime, we just had to have corn. Now, did you see how I cut this laying down? Look, you notice that? Where's the corn? There's 2 pieces of corn that just went there, but the corn is right here. A lot of people put the corn cob up, they knock it down like this. Corn's all over your kitchen. So this is a great way to cut your corn and a simple trick to make things a lot easier for you in the kitchen. Okay, I'm gonna add my corn in too. And then we're just gonna sweat all these vegetables down. So the only thing I gotta finish with is my peppers. Now for me, I use a cubanelle. Cubanelle peppers are very mild, okay? It's a really good pepper to use if you have friends that don't like the heat. I don't have to worry about how I cut these because we're gonna puree this whole chowder. But with this, I just want to cut them like this. Now cubanelle is another special one for me because we used to grow cubanelles on our farm. And so the smell of cubanelle just reminds me of being a kid, having to pick these peppers and box these peppers up with my dad and all of his fellow workers. And it just, that smell brings back that kind of, that summer feel for me in Virginia. So I love to add this to my corn soup, which is also a very summery soup for us to make. We have probably the other good one to use for you guys is a fresh ancho chili. That's going to be a little spicier, so you know you can mix that. Also, green bell peppers you could add, but I think a cubanelle like this is much more flavorful, not as acidic as a straight up green bell pepper. So it's really up to you. If you want to go with spicy chilies, you could do jalapeno in there. Corn and jalapeno obviously is a good one, but you can't put too much of it in there because it's going to be overly spicy. So with this, I have my other corn here. You can see this corn I've cooked up and just cut it off the cob. Look, how do you cook corn? What, like corn like this, that's not grilled, it's a steamed or boiled corn. The best way to do it is get your water boiling with salt in it. You want to throw it in there 6 minutes. That's it. Come out of the water and let it cool at air temperature until you're ready to eat it, and it's fantastic. You go more than that, it becomes tougher. Less than that, it's a little too crunchy, but this corn is perfect. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save a little of the corn for my finished product because I like to have some corn pieces in this corn soup, but I'm going to put the rest, most of it into puree. So probably put almost all of it, right? I'm just retaining a little so I can stick it in at the end, right? Let me cook this down. It's going to take about 10 minutes to saute, and then I'm going to show you how we finish it up. So I'll see you back in a little bit. I'm back for a second here. We've got this is kind of all sauteed up nice. Look at this, how beautiful it is. It's all sweating down. At this point, I've got all these flavors coming. I want to put a little salt in there. So here I've got some pink salt. Put 1 spoonful of that in. Me, I want to add white pepper on this. I love that flavor of the white pepper with it, with corn like this. It's nice. You know, the classic old flavor for me growing up in the Eastern Shore of Virginia was Old Bay. So corn and Old Bay for me is a big one, but I think it competes with the chili. So I don't do it. When I have corn, I make a Old Bay butter that I put on the corn. I love that. But I'm going to add this to make this a little bit more elegant. I'm going to add a pinch of saffron. Now, saffron is something that you probably don't have around the house, just sitting there, unless you cook a lot, unless you're Spanish and you love cooking paella. But I always buy it. It's expensive. This is 90 bucks for this tin. But this tin lasts for a long, long time. And it's a dry stamen of the flour, so it never really goes bad. It gets a little dehydrated, but that comes right out when you start to cook it again and you bloom it. And I like you have to either bloom it in a liquid or you can bloom it in a fat. Like you have if you started this with olive oil or butter, you can put it in. You just don't want to I don't like to cook it hard. But it definitely has to bloom. When you add water or liquid to it, it really brings it out, brings out the flavor. Okay? So again, you can leave that out. Not a big deal. Now, at this point, if you had some extra white wine laying around the house, which I did, but then I drank it over the holidays. So I don't have it. But if you have a little white wine, a little Pinot Grigio in here, it's really nice right now. Any kind of dry white wine. I probably wouldn't put a sweet wine because there's not a lot of there's not a lot of heat to take away the sweetness. So if you put a Riesling in here, you could do it. I just like it better with a dry white. But again, you don't have to have it. You can see I'm not going to put it here. So I'm just going to add in my chicken stock. Okay. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of water as well. So I always take my chicken stock like that. And then I've got probably some water in here. I'll just put my water in my container here and clean out any of the fat that's on my chicken stock and any of the extra flavors in there. And I'll add that in. Now the chicken stock, I can't tell you guys more. Don't get lazy with those bones. A lot of times you guys are buying roasted chickens already at the grocery store. I do that too. It's fine. Well, just sometimes you just don't have the time. You want to cook chicken. It's done, right? But when you pick that chicken meat out and you're making that chicken, all those bones It takes 2 seconds to pull a small pot out, put the bones in there, fill it to the top with water, and then simmer it on your stove. Just put it on your stove, bring it to a simmer. Once it's simmering, let it go. 3, 4, 5 hours, 8 hours, however long you see it there. And before you go to bed at night, take it off and cool it, and then put it in the fridge, right? But all you have to do is do that. You don't have to put vegetables. You don't have to put herbs, nothing. Just put the chicken in water, and that's good enough. Now, if you want to add aromatic herbs, you know, you can do that, but it's not imperative. But I'm telling you, the flavor that you'll get from that wonderful chicken stock like that is incredible. So try it at home, okay, and make sure. Otherwise, put water in this. It's going to be fine. You have a lot of vegetables in here. They're going to all blend and meld together, and it has really nice flavor. Sometimes simplicity is the key. A lot of times people think, oh, I didn't put enough stuff in. I got to put a lot of stuff to give it flavor. No, if you buy good corn and simple, sweet, beautiful seasonal corn, right, the flavor of that is what you want to shine. So don't cloud it up with a bunch of junk, okay? Simple ingredients. You see how simple that was? Let it cook. We'll be back to puree this thing up later, and I'll show you what it looks like. Hey guys, we're back. Take a look at this now. Look at the deep color of this yellow corn. That saffron gives it just a little bit more kind of that yellowy, orangey oomph that not only is it going to add this flavor, but it's a beautiful color too, which you do eat with your eyes, right? So it's going to look fantastic. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of heavy cream. Now, if you're against heavy cream for whatever reason, you wanted to add in some oat milk or something like that, something with body like that, you could do that. Actually, it would be fine. You don't have to use it at all. When you puree in the puree process to make something creamy, adding a fat to it, like just nice extra virgin olive oil, is really good in there. And sometimes I'll even add extra virgin olive oil when I'm pureeing it, just to give it an olive oil flavor, because I think the beautiful flavor of corn with extra virgin olive oil is fantastic. Now, I want to taste it at this point, because when I add the cream, wow, it's really good. Perfect amount of salt. You can always salt a little less because you want to salt more at the end if you need it, right? But what you're looking to do is meld these flavors together, so that salt's going to bring out that flavor. Salt, that white pepper is just the perfect amount. If you needed to adjust it, you can at this point, but I don't need to adjust this. It's actually right on the money. So the only thing I'm going to finish it up with is I've got some basil from my garden here. So this is like some stuff that I really just picked, and I'm going to throw a bunch of leaves in here. I would say you could use like maybe a half, not quite a half bunch for you at home. If you're buying it from the store, I always tell people buy the plant. A lot of times you'll see the plant for sale in the grocery store sometimes for for $5 or $6. So you might as well put the plant outside. If you kill it, right? But this way, you're going to get it at least for 2 or 3 more times. So I've taken my the basil flavors in there. All I want to do is bring this cream to a boil. I'm not looking to cook the cream down and reduce the cream. The cream, I want it to remain light and airy like this. And then at this point, it's boiled like you can see here. I turn this off. My vegetables have cooked. They've come together with the flavor of the corn, right? Now I'm going to take the corn, and there's all these beautiful ingredients, and I'm going to put this in my NutriBullet. You can blend this and you can do it all at one time in a big blender, or sometimes if I have a small batch like this for soup for 2 or 3 people, I'll just do it. Make sure you fill it halfway. You need room to let that steam kind of expand. Otherwise, you're going to risk like blowing the lid off of this thing. So you want to make it tight, and then we're going to blend this, and I'll show you what it looks like. Now, I've blended this up really good. You can see it just came off. So I want you to listen to this. When you crack this, you want to crack it lightly. Hear that? Don't just open it. It can splat out at you. Crack it a little bit. Let the steam escape first, and then open it, and you're fine. You see how that beautiful creaminess. Now, I'm going to taste it at this point. If you have a blender that's not blending it ultra smooth, and you don't like the little skins in there, you can puree puree this. Sorry, not puree. We've already pureed it. You can strain this, but if you want it kind of chowdery, then you can just leave it like this. So at this point, I've got a bowl here with my corn kernels that have already been cooked for about 6 minutes in boiling water, right? I've got the beautiful corn there. I'm going to take a nice piece of lemon. I cut the end of the lemon. Now you can serve it with a little side of lemon because I love the idea of a little acidity in that right before you have it, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on the top like that. You've got your basil. I put some chopped basil in there too, you can see. So you have, look at this texture, flavor, wonderful summer corn chowder with chilies. Perfect marriage. The chili, the saffron in there, the sweetness, the basil, all super summery. They all marry well together. You could, if you had some leftover bacon from breakfast, crispy bacon in this is a fantastic additive too. You can serve this as a sauce too. If I do it as a sauce, I strain it out. That way it's very elegant and fine and smooth. And you can serve some sauteed spinach with some scallops on there. So instead of having this as a soup, you can actually do it as a sauce. So amazing flavor combination, simple to do. Have fun with it at home. I'll see you back in the kitchen soon. I'm Chef Dean Max.